Thank you. Thank you so much, Samir. I remember my journey to undertake the PMP started about last year. I think around the month of May or June, where a good friend of mine referred me to your course, the PMPmastery.com. And I was able to access the group, the WhatsApp group, via an invite link. And the invite link, I was able to interface with a couple of people who had either done the PMP or were planning to do the PMP. And around that time as well, I believe you had mock tests, mock questions. So you'd always have a quiz every day around 7:30 IST, 7:30 p.m. So those were basically the opportunities that we had to see what the PMP questions would look like for us, for me in particular. However, I didn't have the answers to all these questions, and I've had some experience before, and I was wondering how I could get into a place where I could learn how to actually respond like the rest, because I saw someone getting most of the answers right. And shortly after you advertised, you had a sale for the material and a course outline. That was the first one for 90 days. So I quickly jumped on that opportunity, and you were very helpful. You sent me much of the material that I needed, some books on Rita, work plan for the 90 days. I think it was 45 or 90 days, I'm not sure. I think it was 90 days the first time. So the 90 days course work plan, also other books and presentations that I could utilize. So obviously around that time, I had a lot going on. We're just mobilizing for a new project, but I tried to read as much as I could. However, squeezing it in was a bit challenging into a single schedule and do the exam. So what happened was, I think later in November, you reached out to me and offered me an opportunity to do the 30-day.
But it is life-changing.
Yeah. Yes. Which was also very life-changing as well. I had to jump on this opportunity too, because I realized that if I didn't get it out of the way, it was going to haunt me for a year. I'd make a year's anniversary in your platform without actually undertaking the PMP exam. And that would be very, very demotivating for me. So that went well. I did much of what I needed about last year. And what I was struggling with to do the exam up until this point was basically the confidence. But otherwise, you had the material and everything. So we had the lectures and so on, the teachings. So the confidence was an issue. And I realized I wasn't going to get the confidence without actually testing myself. Luckily, through your program, the 30-day program, we had access to mock questions, mock tests, and also practice questions in the respective domains, the respective 3 domains.
Yes.
So when I was going through those questions, I realized that I can actually do this. If this is what it really is, I can actually do the exam. And one thing I realized is the PMP exam is mostly situational based.
Yeah.
So understanding the principles and applying them in real life situations is really what the exam tests you on. And the mock questions that you offer do more than that. They're actually more challenging, in my opinion, than the PMP exam itself.
Real exam question.
Yeah. So with that in mind, obviously doing the PMP exam was a breeze compared to doing your mock questions. I don't know how you're going to revise the difficulty on that, but I think it works fine. And I'm very appreciative of the support and the motivation, the daily motivation to do the PMP and get it out of the way. For future PMP aspirants, I'm sure there's a reason why you decided to do the PMP. And there'll be times where you feel like you are being challenged so much that you may have fear or lose confidence in your ability to do the exam on time. And I would recommend that you maintain the same targets and keep that in mind as you do the exam or prepare for the exam. One of the things that I would say really affected me again was confidence. The people keep calling me and telling me that I'm still struggling with confidence as well. And I think it may be a general problem. But if you have read and you're prepared enough, you feel confident in your preparation, then my advice would be you're probably ready for the exam. You know, people say that you can never really be too prepared for an exam. You can never be too ready to take an exam. And I don't want you to feel that as you do the exam, you have an opportunity to go back to your books and read. No, I feel like if you have read the material provided by your mentor, go through that material, go through the questions, gain confidence in doing the questions by yourself, and go ahead and do the exam. Schedule the exam at a time that is convenient for you. I know there are limited time slots, depending on your time zone. Make sure it's comfortable with your program and ensure that you have a working computer system, good internet, so that nothing goes wrong with the exam itself, and the rest of the preparation would have to be on your end. So definitely I'd advise you set your targets, you know why you're doing a PMP, see it through the end, and all the best. I and Samir will be leaving here.